Hey guys, it's Joe. This is Picks and Props with Joe. I'm excited to have this show going every Friday. You guys can join me here at 4:30 Eastern. We're going to have three great guests in today. I can't wait. I've got Cab of Dabby Cab. You can find him all over Pub Sports Radio. I also have Gutsy of Sobet coming in, and then Dave of Dave Rogers Picks. So all three of these guys are going to come in. They're going to give you bets either for today's games or for the weekends. It's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of great information coming in. I'm going to bring Cab in right away. Let's welcome him to the show, you guys. Cab, welcome.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me on. How's it going today? It's Friday, right? So best day of the week. How are you doing?
Yeah, Friday, best day of the week. I wanted to have you in here. Haven't seen you in quite a while, it feels like, at least.
I know the last time I think was on, I don't know what game we were on. I know it was one of the live shows. I've done so many live shows since then, but it was one of the live streaming where we were live betting it and you came in with us. That was a lot of fun, but I can't remember what game it was. Do you remember what game it was?
I can't remember. It was a college football game for sure. Now,
definitely.
Tell us what you've got going on at Pub Sports Radio. Like, we're going to get into the picks, everyone, but first, tell them about your shows.
Well, it matches up perfectly because, tonight I'm going to be live on Pub Sports Radio for the Gonzaga-Michigan State game. We'll probably stay on after the game ends for a little bit, but we'll be live for that game. We're going to be live betting it, and that's the first game that I figured we'd talk about while we were here because it's Veterans Day. It's going to be on that naval aircraft on the flight deck, so that's pretty cool in San Diego. But yeah, like you said, Pub Sports Radio, you can just find me on Pub Sports Radio and, better than finding me on there, just check out Pub Sports Radio and check out everything they got going on over there.
Okay, let's jump into this game then. Michigan State versus Gonzaga. Michigan State coming in as 11.5-point dog in this one. Total has dropped down to 142.5. Where are you going with this game?
Okay, so for Gonzaga, obviously, you got Drew Timme. Everybody knows, right? He looked good game one with 22 points, but also you got Malachi Smith coming in, the Chattanooga transfer. He was a conference player of the year last year. He had 15 points. He was 7 of 10 shooting first game. I don't know if you saw Gonzaga hopped out 26-0, or they went on a 26-0 run right there at the beginning of that first game. They're who we expected. They're a very, very high-powered offensive team. Drew said it himself in an interview. He said there are some questions maybe around their defense this year, and that's where they're going to have to tighten up. On the other side, Michigan State, they're not the powerhouse team that they've always been that we're used to with Michigan State. Tom Izzo has even said it himself, but he likes this team. Tom Izzo, he likes that hard-nosed, court type of team. And, actually in the last 5 meetings with Gonzaga, 4 of them, they've came away with the victory. Michigan State gets at Gonzaga here, but this is just one of those spots where I think Michigan State's going to be absolutely outmatched. It's going to be too much for them. The line was at 9.5 early. It got bet up very quickly. The line did not stay at 9.5 very long. But what I have here is I took Gonzaga in the first half -6. Like I said, I'm going to be live on Pub Sports Radio, live betting this game with some other great cappers. Joe, you might even hop in there with us, right?
Yeah,
but we'll be up there. Yeah, we'll be up there live betting it. So that's why, if you're wondering, why I'm on the first half, I want to be in it early because I'll be looking for certain things during the game that I'm looking to see so I can find different angles to live bet it also.
Yeah, absolutely. Really interesting game we'll have here. So I'm hoping to jump on. What time does that show kick off, Cab, for everyone?
6:15 Eastern. That'll be 15 minutes before tip because tip is, it's at 6:30. So it's a little earlier than usual for a tip. But like I said, it's the special, it's on the naval aircraft. It's in San Diego. So.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a great game. Nice shout out to our veterans here for Veterans Day and Remembrance Day up here in Canada. So thanks, guys, for everything you do. Let's talk some college football for tomorrow. I know there's a game you're looking at for one of your best bets, Pittsburgh and Virginia.
I'm going to go Walter White on this fly that is in my room. It's driving me crazy. Absolutely. It's like one fly, and it's like getting right in my face. I'm going to kill it after this show, that's for sure. Or one of us is going down. Near the Fly. One or the other are going down after this show. I can tell you that. But
One of
this
the
game that I'm
movies
looking at
later.
tomorrow, this game's not going to draw anybody's eyes unless you're in Virginia or Pittsburgh. I'm looking at the Virginia Pitt game. I know it's not like I said, a super exciting game watching wise, but betting wise, it is to me. Virginia just lost in what's a pretty big rival game actually with North Carolina. They didn't look good, but they were winning, and they had a 17-point lead, and they should have won it. They blew it, But that's when I say they didn't look good. That's what Virginia does. They've been a rough team this year. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, has been pretty bad too. Very underperforming. They finally did get a upset win though against Syracuse, 19-9 last week. I think that's something that Pitt really needed. They're now one win away from being bowl eligible. And this is a spot where, you look at both of these teams. Let's look at their quarterbacks, right? So Slovis, he hasn't been great. But on the flip side, Armstrong's been horrible with the 10 interceptions. I just think Pitt is still a better football team and still has something to play for, whereas this Virginia team just played their rival game and they're not going to a bowl game. So this is in college football, that's one of those things too that's important when you start getting around this time of season, is to look for like who's playing for what, why they're getting up, right? And people like to think some schools, they're going to have their pride and play anyways, but Virginia's football team is dead this year. They're not going to a bowl game. They lost to their rival. They're just dead. Pitt, on the other hand, got a big win against Syracuse last week. They could become bowl eligible here. And I think this is a spot where Pitt comes out with the better team, having something to still play for, and beats Virginia. So I'm on Pittsburgh in the first half -2.5 and full game -5.5.
Yeah, lots of trends to support that as well, taking Pittsburgh there. The road team has been so strong between these two, going 5-1-1 against the spread in the last 7 meetings. I like Pittsburgh. It's only 5.5. I actually thought they would come in as a bigger favorite here on this one. So.
Well, the way they've been underperforming is why. Slovis hasn't been good. Like I said, taking the snaps back there for Pitt. He's thrown a lot of interceptions too. I think he's got more interceptions than he does touchdowns. I don't have it written down here, but he's been rough. One thing that Pitt does do though is they run the ball well. And I think that, like we always say, defense and running the ball travels. And I don't think Pitt's going to have a problem running the ball here, which Virginia actually has an okay defense. If there's one thing you can say about Virginia's team, their defense is all right. But I don't think they're going to be able to stop Pittsburgh from, putting up enough points. Virginia's offense, they did everything they could last week. I don't see it happening again. I think they're going to stay who we know. So under a touchdown here, I love this spot.
Okay. 2 great picks from you, Cab. We didn't talk any baseball towards the end of the season. I don't even know if you were happy with how the World Series ended. What were your thoughts on the World Series?
I would have been fine with it either way. I wasn't surprised. I think the Astros were clearly the better team, and I knew that going in. But Philly had so much momentum. It was a lot of fun. Whether you talk about like the fans and everything, kind of felt like they just had that bug. But yeah, it died out, and Houston won, which didn't really surprise me. I wasn't, I'm in Texas, but I'm not an Astros fan. So I'm only a fan of who I bet on and where my money is.
I love it. You want to do some quick rapid fire? Rapid fire questions?
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, you don't have to
Absolutely.
do anything but answer yes or no, or you can have an explanation if you want. But
wait, so do I think? Hold on, let me get the rules right. Do I just say yes or no?
Yeah, yes or no or pass. You can pass. Micah Parsons for an anytime sack on Aaron Rodgers on Sunday.
Yes.
Ooh, I like it. Tom Brady to play a better game than Geno Smith in Germany.
No.
That's a hard one, right? That's a really hard one.
I know. Did you see the hesitation for me? But every time I keep thinking, all right, he's got it this week. No. Yeah, no. So I'm going to have to go with no.
Okay. What about Josh Allen? You think he's going to play?
Pass.
Kansas City, can they finally get a cover at home? They're laying 9.5. They haven't covered yet at home this season. Issues last season covering. Can they cover?
The first half under a touchdown, they will cover. The full game, probably get backdoored.
Ooh, I like it. Should the Raiders even be a professional football team anymore?
No, no.
Love
XFL. The
it.
XFL. They can step down to the XFL.
Will my Chargers have any hope in hell with all their injuries against the San Francisco 49ers this weekend?
No.
Oh man, I completely agree with you. Do the Eagles keep rolling over Washington? How are the Eagles 8-0 on the season?
Because
How?
they're a good football team. Because they're a good football team. I know it's crazy to say, but that's because they're a good football team. So yes, I think the Eagles keep rolling. I do. Yeah, absolutely.
And is there going to be a shoey done on Pub Sports Radio tonight by yourself or by any of the other guests?
Me, no. Moose might do a boot, and if Nicky Fish Tanks hops on with us, he'll do a shoey for sure. But I don't drink out of a shoe.
I love it. I love it. Well, I wish you all the best on your show tonight. I will definitely be coming and jumping in. Can you remind everyone about your show tonight and what time it is and where people can find it?
Yeah, 6:15 Eastern, Pubs Radio. We're going to be going live for the Gonzaga Michigan State game. Really excited for that. We'll probably stay on afterwards for some of the other games too. And we're going to be there live betting it and talking about the bets that we got for the next day. So just check it out. Like I said, Pub Sports Radio.
Awesome. Well, Cab, thank you so much. People can follow you on Twitter at Dabby Cab. Anywhere else on socials?
I made it Instagram. I don't post on it, but I made it. So it's there. I made it. I've hit a
Step
like
one
on like
is
2
done.
things you've done on there.
I
What'd you
like
say?
it. I said step one is done. Now we'll just have to get you posted.
I've done like 2 things. I gave you a like on like 2 things, and I posted a video like once.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Cab, thank you so much, you guys. If you have not given Dabby Cab a follow, make sure you go over and do so. Have a great night. I'll see you later.
You too. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. Okay, you guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me here on Picks and Props with Joe. My next guest is running late, but I'm going to bring in first Picks from Dave. He's always ready to go. If you have not followed Dave Rogers on all social media at Picks from Dave, you definitely have to. He's got some great shows and he's giving out free picks all the time. So much great content. So let's welcome him into the show. Dave,
hello.
how's it going?
Good. I'm glad I came a little early.
I am so glad you did too. Did you see my Twitter message I was writing when I was letting Cab talk there?
No, I didn't. I jumped off one show. I'm on this show. It's a good time to be in this community and a good time to be alive. That's for sure.
I love everything you've got going on. Before we get into these picks, you guys, this show is about the picks and props, but I want to make sure that you also know where to follow all of these great cappers coming in. So Dave, can you let everyone know what you've got going on and where everyone can follow you?
Yep, I'm Picks from Dave everywhere. I did catch the end where Cab was saying he made an Instagram and doesn't post on it. I do, and I made it months ago. I forget the password, so you won't find me there right now. But I'm on Twitter. I post picks every night. Post other content. I have YouTube Picks from Dave. I do pick videos every night. And then we have a show tonight and Wednesday and Fridays at 8:30 Eastern, where we basically it's an open forum where we handicap anything we want. These are guys that we were already doing this on StreamYard before this. And we said, let's throw it up on YouTube. So, we take questions, we go over, and we have a good time too, have a cocktail, relax. And it goes for 3 or 4 hours. So it's not something you want to sit and watch the whole thing. You can drop in and out and, that's tonight. Nerd Talk is what we call it.
Yeah, and I also love the flow and communication between you guys because you can really tell. You guys, it's so important if you're buying picks or following people's picks to trust your capper. Dave, you're giving people that open honesty when you guys are doing this nerd talk where people can come in and trust you because they see exactly your process of doing things. So hats off to you for doing that. I love everything you got going on. Let's jump into some of these games. What are you liking in tonight's action?
Tonight, my favorite play is in this Cleveland Cavaliers Golden State Warriors game. I've been saying for years that this Cavs team, although they don't have superstars, I don't know if Kevin Love was ever a superstar, but they're all either burgeoning stars or borderline stars. But the thing is they mesh well together. We see the super teams. Sometimes they do well, like Miami did, and sometimes they fall like we saw the Nets do. But usually when you have a team and a good front office that trades well and drafts well, it's gonna do well, eventually. And that's what we're seeing with the Cavs. On the other end of the spectrum, we have the Golden State Warriors, who to me were the best team on paper coming into the season, coming off the championship. But we can kind of see there's some disconnects there. I mean, they've got the old guys, they've got the new guys, they've got Kuminga and Wiseman and Poole, so they're kind of the next guard. But they're not the Warriors that we see. In fact, the Cavs are playing like the Warriors usually play. The Cavs are 4th in field goal percentage and 2nd in 3-point percentage. The Golden State Warriors are 10th in field goal percentage and 15th in 3-point percentage. So that's not good. But the worst part about the Golden State Warriors is they're 3rd worst in opponents' points against. They were 3rd best last year, 115 points this year, 105 last year. They're really struggling on the defensive end, whereas Cleveland isn't. And Cleveland's number 1 in defensive rebounds, which to me, to win basketball, you need to not turn the ball over, you need to shoot free throws, and you need to rebound the ball. So Cavs are a dog. Smart bet is to take 2.5 points. I bet the money line at plus 125. That's my best bet tonight.
Yeah, I think they have every opportunity to win this. And if not cover, I think we do have a tight game here. But you're right. The Warriors just are not looking right at the moment. And if Cleveland can come out and play the same game that we've seen them play as of late, they have every opportunity to get this win. So I love that pick here today. Dave, I can talk. How are you finding the NBA so far overall this season?
For both basketball, college, and NBA, I kind of ease into things.
Okay.
I'm at the point where an NBA is one of the sports I don't index. So I have my starting points a little different. I need a little bit more statistics to look into it, but it's been good for totals. I have sort of a system for totals. I'll give it out here. Why not? This is where this open deal goes into. So I don't know what it was last year, but the year before, and actually for like 4 or 5 years, non-conference overs, when the total is 220 to like 228, 230, we're over 60%, just blindly taking them. Now you have to choose and pick your spots, but in the beginning of the season, that's what I'm looking for. And those have been hitting. And now I'm kind of getting my feel for betting sides. So we're going to start betting more NBA and more college basketball.
Okay, I like it. What are you looking at for this weekend? You taking any college basketball or any NFL football?
I'm taking both.
Okay.
And so I guess we'll go in the NFL. My best bet on Sunday is the Tennessee Titans. I know it might be kind of square. They're at home. They're against the Broncos. But, I mean, the Titans are going to do what the Titans do. They're going to rush the ball, and they're going to play defense. And they're 6-2 ATS. I mean, every week I'm looking at them to bet them because they're covering spreads. They're 9th in rushing yards and 2nd in rush defense. And why that's important is they're going to limit Denver to throwing the ball, essentially. And we know Russell Wilson is having a hell of a hard time doing that. And it's crazy.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah. It's nuts. But by the way, talk about the Broncos defense. They're number 1 in pass defense. Well, that's great. We have the 2nd string quarterback for Tennessee that's a running quarterback. So that's a wash. And they're 19th against the rush. And Derrick Henry's probably the best bell cow running back in the NFL. So I like the Titans to cover 2.5. I think they can win by a field goal. It probably isn't a high scoring game. I want to look at the under too. The Titans.
What about Derrick Henry for any rushing props or touchdown props here?
He hits them every week. I laddered. Was it last week or the week before? I can't remember. I laddered his ladder prop 4 different times, and he hit every one of them. I mean, he's just an absolute beast. And the crazy thing is, you know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So
they're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball with Derrick Henry. I'm actually interested to see if we can get him for more than a touchdown. If we could get him for 2+ touchdowns, what kind of money we could get on that, because I think he's going to have a nice big day in this game. Should just be constantly
I agree.
him. Just looking it up, you guys, right now. So for an anytime touchdown, he is -190 for Derrick Henry. Let's see, 2+ touchdowns, +310, 3+ touchdowns, +1100. Any hope of that +1100 3 touchdowns hitting.
4 touchdowns in a game. I'd have to go see if he's ever done that. That's a lot of that's a
Well,
lot
it's
for
3 plus, so he can go 3 or
Oh,
more.
3
Yeah.
for 1,100. That might be
Yeah.
worth a half a unit. Actually, I might just bet that.
I might just bet that too. I love this show. I love
Mm-hmm.
talking sports with you, Dave. Thank you so much. What else do you have for us? I know you had a college basketball, you said?
I do.
Okay.
I am not with everything that's going on. I have not finished capping college football or basketball, and I need to do at least football before the show tonight. But there is one game that stick. Actually, this isn't basketball. This is college football. What am I
You
talking
got a
about?
college football game you're looking
Yeah,
at.
I do.
Okay.
I do, because I looked at the teams, UMass and Arkansas State, and I automatically went, "Oh, that's basketball." But no, these are kind of the crumb bums. These are my favorite games. This is where the value is in college sports, is kind of the dregs of the league. And I've been doing really well, especially with UMass specifically. Teams that just don't. It's very simple. Teams that don't score points, whether they're playing a good or a bad team, take the under. And it's been incredibly simple, and it's worked out. UMass scores 10.9 points a game, not even 11 points a game. Arkansas scores 21.9. Both of their defenses are awful, but if you can't score that doesn't matter. But you look at the only thing these teams do. UMass throws for under 100 yards a game. They're a rushing team. And Arkansas State's a middle of the road rushing defense, and so try to hit an over 50 just rushing the ball. It'll never happen. So then you say, oh, how are we going to get points with Arkansas State? Well, they pass the ball really well. The only thing UMass does well is defend the pass. They're 16th in the country, 187. So there's just no way these teams are going to score points. It's at 50. I think it stays under 40. I love that bet for tomorrow. UMass Arkansas State under 50.
Ugly game. UMass coming in here at 1-8 on the season, 0-5 on the road. Arkansas 2-7, 2-2 on the road. I think you've got it beat here with that under 49.5. You guys is the line right now. You're right. They don't even hit 40 in this one.
Yeah, they're bad, and this is what we have a nerd on the show that calls these. It's kind of childish, but it is what it's poopy plays. This is a poopy one because these teams are poop.
I laugh at that because someone was on one of my feeds today and called it a poopy play. So obviously they've been listening to you and someone over on your show saying that poopy play, because I'd never heard that before, Dave.
It's a thing now.
It's a thing now. Dave, you got anything else for us, or you want to do some rapid fire here? I'd like to ask you some rapid fire.
Yeah, that's fine. If I've capped it, I'll let you know. If I haven't, I'll give you what I think.
Oh no, this is just for fun.
Oh,
let's do fun rapid fire.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
In the NFL, can Tom Brady do better than Geno Smith this weekend?
He can. Yeah. Yes. Will he? I don't know, but yes.
Okay, Micah Parsons for a sack on Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yes.
Can the Buffalo Bills win with or without Josh Allen?
They're a circa bet for me.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think Case Keenum is a perfectly fine fill-in. And granted, Josh Allen is, like, we saw the line from where I indexed them to where the line is. It's like 7 points. Is Josh Allen worth 7 points? If there's anyone in the NFL that's worth that much to his team, it's him. But I think Minnesota hasn't played anyone. I know they've only lost once. This is where we're going to see them regress, and we're going to see the Bills, other parts of the Bills team shine. Okay.
I like it. What about Matt Stafford? He's in concussion protocol. What do you think of this Rams team this weekend? Can they get the win?
Well, who's their backup quarterback?
Backup quarterback for
I don't even
Matt
remember.
Stafford. I'm drawing a blank off the top of my head.
Anyways, it shows you how much I looked at that game. The Rams have been horrible this year with them. They're playing the Cardinals, aren't they? The problem is the Rams are playing bad, but the Cardinals are one of 3 teams that I can't get a read on. And I call Carson Wentz, a lot of poop talk, diarrhea brain, but I call Kyler Murray diarrhea brain light, because he's younger and shorter, and they just make bad decisions. So can the Rams get it? This is a game I'm way off, but can either team win? They can. Doesn't matter if Matthew Stafford's in or not.
Can my Chargers have any chance against the San Francisco 49ers? 49ers are 7-point favorites. Chargers full of injuries. I'm saying no. I'm going against my team. which normally bites me in the ass.
Okay, so this is very strange. My team is the 49ers, and a circa play for me is Chargers +7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I hope you're right here. It's a lot of points, but man, we are so unhealthy right now. Does Washington have any living chance against the Philadelphia Eagles that are 8-0 on the season?
No, the Eagles were the one team, and I did it in everybody's preview show that I went on. Eagles would be not even really a dark horse, but I guess people would say it's a dark horse to win the Super Bowl, win the NFC. Look what's happening. They'd made the best moves of anyone in the offseason. They filled holes. Jalen Hurts is the real deal. And the Commanders are Heineke's an upgrade.
He is.
But they're still trash.
They are absolutely still trash. Dave, I want to thank you so much for joining me. Can you remind everyone where to find you?
Picks from Dave on all socials, picks on Twitter nightly, videos on YouTube nightly, and Nerd Talk, the Capper Collective, on Wednesday and Friday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time.
All the best in all your bets tonight. Have fun on Nerd Talk. You guys make sure you go and check it out over on YouTube. Dave, thanks again for joining me.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. Okay, you guys, that was Dave Rogers. Make sure you go over and give him a follow. My first guest that I had in was Cab from Dabby Cab. Give him a follow as well. I've got one more outstanding capper coming on here. Gutsy from Gutsy Picks Cash on Twitter. Now you can find him over at SoBet. Amazing capper here. He's so interactive on his TikTok and everything he has going on. So we're going to talk with him about his best bets. Let's welcome him to the show. Gutsy, welcome.
What's up, Joe? How are we doing today?
Doing great. How's it going for you?
It's going all right. It's pretty freezing outside. It just finally got really cold here in Chicago. It's not 70 degrees, 60 degrees anymore. It's actually freezing cold. So, it could be better. It could be better, but I'm not going to complain.
Well, let's warm you up and win some money tonight, Gutsy. First, can you tell everyone where to follow you and where to find everything that you got going on over at SoBet?
It's easy. Gutsy Picks Cash, same thing on everything. Twitter, TikTok, SoBet. Go check it all out. Appreciate all love and support. And by the way, smack that max play last week that I put on here as well. Texas, that was easy. That was easy.
Easy money. You made it easy. I tailed you on that one. Great call on that game.
Might be on again this weekend too.
Take Texas.
Oh, I might be over TCU.
I tell you, if TCU's wide receiver is healthy, we know he's had ankle issues. That is the swinging factor for me.
No, definitely.
Johnston.
Definitely. I agree. They're going to make him one-dimensional. They're going to try to make him pass only. We'll see if it works for him. And Max has been so good this year. And that TCU offense has just been fun to watch. But I just don't think they stand a chance in making the playoff. I think that the committee just kind of threw him in there to make him feel good. They're like, let's just put him in there. But they know deep down TCU ain't going to make it. There's just no way.
Okay. Well, best of luck in that game tomorrow. What have you got for us tonight? What are you looking at for best bet?
Tonight, honestly, my biggest bet, my favorite bet is the grossest bet, in my opinion, as well. But I love it. I got the Wild money line tonight against the Kraken, one of the hottest teams in the NHL. I know that a lot of people are going to be on Seattle. I can't remember. I thought I saw your post earlier. Are you on Seattle tonight?
I love Seattle tonight.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought I saw your post when I woke up this morning, and I was like, oh, man. Because we're not on opposite sides a ton on the ice.
We are not.
We really do cap it about the same. And honestly, a lot of the people that follow my picks lot, they even told me that they couldn't believe I took the Wild today, and there are a lot of them on the Kraken. I do think the main reason as to why I really like this pick is that it's two clear sides of the Wild. One of the more unlucky teams in the NHL right now. I mean, they're scoring and their expected goals are way higher than the goals they've scored so far. And it's the same thing on the defensive side. Goals against are way higher than what the expected goals against are. Obviously, it comes down to, goalie play has just been kind of brutal in Minnesota. You got Marco, who I just can't stand Marco, but I'm also a Blackhawks fan. He screwed us over last year. But
rightly so. Yeah.
Whole separate issue. But I really do like the Wild a lot tonight versus the Kraken. I know that the Kraken are one of the best teams. I know their skaters have been good. Their defense hasn't been exactly what it was last year. I don't know if you remember last year, but last year they were known for basically blocking shots. Their defense just putting their bodies on the line all the time. Yeah. They've almost reversed it. They're trying to now be more focused on the skaters and how they do it offensively, their offensive sets especially. So I don't know. I just think that this is a great spot for the Wild to come in, not get swept. I mean, not swept, but they just lost. What was that? Maybe 5 days ago to the Kraken 4-0.
A week
I
ago,
just said, it's the same thing as the Penguins. I'm on the Penguins tonight as well for almost the exact same reason. I love the Penguins tonight, right?
Yeah.
Due for positive regression. And of course, both of them are coming off a game where maybe they finally broke it open. I do like the Penguins a little bit more in the Wild, but I did bet more on the Wild tonight because I really feel confident about them winning. I definitely can't see the Penguins losing tonight to the Maple Leafs, especially who are they starting in the net? What's that guy's name? Eric something. He's an AHL goalie, isn't he? Or he would be in the AHL.
Calgren for Toronto. Toronto.
Yeah. He probably wouldn't even be in the NHL right now if it wasn't for all the injuries. He'd probably still be down in the AHL. So,
absolutely.
I think the Penguins are a great play, but the Wild are my favorite play tonight on the ice.
Oh, man. Okay, we're head-to-head in that one. I do really like the Kraken's team total, though, over that 3. I think we've got a higher scoring game if the Kraken can get the win. So I do like that total over 3. Did you have any thoughts on the total or any of these team totals for this one?
I think the over would definitely be a play. I think the Wild are going to keep churning out goals for a little bit to just to get that number back to where it should be, because their offense really hasn't been that bad. They just can't score goals. And sometimes it's not the team's fault necessarily. It's all about just getting pucks on net, hoping they fall your way sometimes. But I just love how the Wild have been playing. I know they looked pretty sluggish through the first period and a half last game. Obviously they woke up late and it was against the Ducks. Take it with what you will. But I just think that even sometimes against the Ducks, when you beat a team like that you're supposed to go beat, sometimes that can just wake your team up a little bit. It's essentially why I'm taking the Penguins and the Wild tonight, both of the same. But, the Maple Leafs, obviously, the goalie. And then obviously with the Wild, it's just the Kraken are so good, man. But Seattle's been overperforming a little bit. And I just think that eventually, I'm not saying that necessarily it's going to happen tonight, but I think that this is a perfect spot for it to happen because the Wild, they looked pretty good late during the second game, during that last game. Hopefully they just carry that momentum into this week, and then we should be chilling about it. It should be a really good game, though. I'm excited for it. I'll tell you that.
Looking at these teams where these underdogs are coming in, winning game in, game out. This is what the Seattle Kraken have been doing as dogs, winning the last 6 as underdog. We've seen another team be able to do that. Those Arizona Coyotes got another win last night.
Unbelievable.
I was thankful I was on the under. How did they pull that off?
I have no idea how the worst franchise in all of sports is pulling off anything. It's honestly shocker. And the books if you look at some of the lines they've been dropping for the Yotes, the books are kind of respecting the Yotes a little bit with some of the lines they've been giving them. Eventually it's going to catch up though, and we're going to be getting fantastic value on the opposite side. The Yotes are not going to be able to keep this up. But hey, I'm here for it. I love a good underdog early in the season, kind of shock the world a little bit. But God, the Yotes are bad, man.
Okay, one last hockey question before we move on to the rest of the sports in the weekend. Any chance for the Sharks here tonight? We know Dallas is in a terrible scheduling spot. I got the Sharks here on the money line. Tell me you're with me on this, because you look at Dallas, they're home from a road trip. They went 2-1 on that road trip. They take back off on a road trip on Sunday. They're home for only a couple days here with their family. I think this is a terrible spot for them.
I also think this is a terrible spot. I did not bet the Sharks, though. I could not do it. It was the same thing last night. Last night, I thought that I was getting the most beautiful fade against the Golden Knights last night. The 5th leg of a 5-leg road trip, 4-0 already, emotional game with Jack Eichel. Completely wrong about that one. I mean, that was so. And then, of course, Jack Eichel gets a damn hat trick late in the game. Of course, were you watching that game? You see how cocky he was after he finally scored that first goal? He was so pumped. He just looked around, took it all in.
I was happy for him.
I was happy for him too. It was a big goal for him. But unfortunately, Joe, and I really do hate to see it. It's another pick where I'm like, I do feel gross about it, but I took it. I took the Wild -1.5. I only threw a unit on it, but I totally agree with you. I think it's a great spot for the Sharks. I think it's a disgusting scheduling spot for the Stars, but I can't see the Sharks. I mean, the Sharks have lost the last 5. They have not looked good at all. And honestly, the Stars have just always been so good at home. And I just really think that they're going to be able to come out and just dominate this game. I don't know exactly. Is Jake back tonight? Do you know?
I
Have
do
they even?
not believe so.
Yeah, I didn't think that he was going to play tonight. I didn't plan on him playing tonight. I said last night I don't think Jake's going to be back, but I know he's still day to day, so I don't know if they're kind
A lot of people are saying that he is, but my book is giving me odds on Wedgwood in goal, and then other people, like other books actually, are giving Ottinger. So
that's very
I
strange.
don't, yeah. So I think there's still confusion coming down to the wire, but with
Yeah.
some books saying Wedgwood, I think that's who's going to be going.
If it was Jake, I'd be feeling even better about it. Obviously, he's been very good this season. He's only averaging like 1.4 goals a game, I think, right now. He does have like a 3.3 expected, though, which is pretty gross. That's a really bad differential. And eventually, the floodgates will bust open against Jake eventually. I just don't think it could be against someone versus Sharks. That's why I said if Jake starts, I'll feel even better about it. But damn it, I'll take Wedgwood. And I totally agree with you. I really do think that's why I only tossed a unit on it. I really do think this is a good spot for the Sharks, but I couldn't stay away from it because I just love the Stars at home, especially against a completely inferior team. Sometimes it's hard for me to lay off of those, but hopefully the Stars can just keep up what they've been doing. They're averaging almost 4 goals a game right now. So
they are. We were not expecting this team to come out so strong offensively this season. They're also 5-0 on that puck line as a favorite at home in their last 5 games. So if you like them to get the win, expect them to get a big win here. They have been doing phenomenal. Oh, yeah, the Stars team. I hate going against them, but
I know, right? And that defense, they're like top 5 in goals per game right now. They've been fantastic this season. The boys have been buzzing. I've been loving the Stars. I've been loving them.
I've been loving a lot of these teams, making us some good money.
Right? No, I totally agree. Hockey season's so much fun. I love the NHL.
Yeah, you're getting some love here from JA.
Hey, let's
Thanks
go.
for popping in.
Shout out,
Okay, what else are you liking for the weekend?
So honestly, like I said, Texas -7 versus TCU. I think that's a beautiful spot. I really think that TCU is going to probably end up being a public dog. There's going to be so much public money coming all over them. I don't know what the number is going to do by tomorrow. We're going to see what it does. But honestly, I really do like Texas a lot this weekend. But another game that I just really want to talk about is Tulane -1.5 versus UCF. I love this spot for Tulane. Tulane's been a slept-on team all season long. They've been undervalued in every single game up to this point so far this year. Right now, they are 8-1 ATS. Tulane, ever since they hired Coach Willie Fritz, he has gone 26-11 ATS at home. They've been such a different home and road team. And then when you go ahead and look at UCF, they hired Gus last year. I think it was last year or it was the beginning. Either way, he's 3-6 right now on the road. But the biggest thing for me and why I really love this spot for Tulane, UCF is going to bring in Mikey Keene. He's the backup quarterback. The starter got hurt 2 weeks ago. The starter might be good to go, but they're going to start Mikey Keene because he had a crazy good game last year. This guy was the starter all season long last year. One of the most inconsistent quarterbacks in football. I remember there was a game against like Bowling Green last year where he had like 50 passing yards against Bowling Green. Like this guy is an absolute wild card, but he came in last week, had an insane game against Memphis, who's got a terrible defense. He showed absolutely nothing. And honestly, I just think the value is too good here on Tulane, and we just cannot stay away from it. Like I said, they've been undervalued in every single game this year. They're looking to make a historic run this year for the school. This will be like the best football season in school history. But in order to do that, they have to beat UCF. UCF is going to march Mikey Keene out there. And I just think that Willie Fritz is going to have the boys absolutely ready to go here. And this might be one of my favorite plays of the weekend is going to be Tulane -1.5 versus UCF.
Okay, yeah, this should be an interesting one. That total has jumped up quite a bit. I was just pulling up the odds here. Up to 54.5 now in this game. Opened at 51. So we have seen some tight games between these two, but I think at 1.5, you got to take Tulane here.
Yeah, I think it's just they've been undervalued all year. That's why they're 8-1 ATS every single week. The books just don't trust them. And then here's another spot where they should be at the worst. They should be -3 at the worst. We're going to get a backup quarterback that was the most inconsistent arming, one of the most inconsistent arms in college football last year. When he went up against Cincinnati, he got shredded earlier this year when he finally came back in. And Cincinnati's defense, they play tonight. By the way, I have ECU tonight. Side note, but I have ECU tonight against Cincinnati. It's going to be a wild game right there. It's going to be a fun one to watch. Make sure you tune into that one because Cincinnati's got a really good defense, but ECU's got like one of the best passing offenses. They're super fun to watch. But yeah, I just think Tulane -1.5 is just absolute robbery when it comes value wise here, honestly. Really
You're
love it.
getting so much love coming in here.
Hey, let's go.
Oh,
Shout out Lance.
loving you. I
Yeah,
love it.
Lance.
Okay. So Tulane here. You're going to lay the 1.5.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then what are you on again tonight for people just joining?
ECU. So I have ECU tonight. They face Cincinnati. I have them plus 6.5. I know the book shot it way down. It's like plus 4 at some books now. Just get it above 3.5. If you can get it above 3, try to get 3.5, 4. I would still take it there. Feel very comfortable. I sprinkled money line. I got that at plus 175. I think they're going to beat Cincinnati tonight. Cincinnati's just such a defensive heavy school, and they absolutely rely on their pass game. Their run game is not good at all. ECU should be able to shut it down. ECU's secondary is a little bit suspect, which is what makes me slightly nervous. I don't buy Cincinnati's offense at all. Their passing offense, I don't buy it. I just like ECU a lot tonight to probably come out and win this game.
Okay.
And then, of course, on the hockey, I don't know if you want me to say the hockey ones as well, but Penguins money line, Wild money line. Unfortunately, Joe is on the Kraken. We're not on the opposite sides a ton, but I'm excited to see the game tonight. It's going to be fun.
On the Kraken. I love people fading the Leafs tonight. Definitely a great way to go with the Penguins here. Always fade the Leafs. Who likes the Leafs? No one is a big Leafs fan anyway.
I took the Flames last night, Joe.
I took the Flames last night too. They did us dirty. They almost had it. They almost tied it up.
But that wasn't even the dirtiest, Joe. That wasn't even the dirtiest. I had a losing night last night by a unit, and it all came down to one thing. All circled back to one thing. I had the over of 42 in the football game. I don't know if you were watching, but there was not one, not two, but 3 missed extra points. 3 of them, and I had 42. It ended at 40. That's cannot believe it.
That is so painful.
It's one of the most painful beats I've had all year long. I've never experienced that. I mean, I know the weather was bad, all that stuff, but like still, we're talking about a 25-yard field goal here. It's really not that big. I'm still so sick about it. I can't believe it.
Kickers drive me crazy. It's always been a big problem with my Chargers. We always have issues getting.
Oh, you're a Chargers fan. I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, you can. I will say sorry right now. It's I blame it on Antonio Gates. So he trapped me into that franchise. So
Antonio Gates, what a guy though. He was awesome.
He was absolutely awesome. When I was younger, he played basketball for Kent State. Did you know that? Before he transferred into football. So actually, funny story, when I was watching the Chargers, I wasn't even a fan. They were playing the 49ers. And I saw him catch a ball, and they're like, Antonio Gates. I'm like, that cannot be the same guy. He took his helmet off on the side. I was like, that's the same guy. I couldn't believe it.
You had to be mind blown.
Yeah, I was mind blown. So the Chargers became my team because of him.
And ever since.
Yeah,
ever since, Chargers are your squad.
Oh, and it's been a hard ride. Talk about a team that hasn't been a hard ride for you. The Miami Dolphins here.
Listen,
you guys are doing well this season.
This is one of the most exciting years of my life. I'm a diehard Dolphins fan, literally live and die Dolphins football. I love the Miami Dolphins, and they have been just so bad my entire life. We've never done anything right. We've gone to one playoff game since I was 10 years old, never get to experience anything fun, and now we have the best wide receiver duo in the league. Our quarterback is still leading the NFL in passer rating. It's a good time to be a Dolphins fan. I'll tell you that. It's a good time. But it's all at the same time, though, Joe. It's almost like unlucky because that now we have somehow the Jets, one of the worst franchises in sports. They're 6-2. Then you got the Bills, obviously, who are a bunch of monsters. So it's like, of course, when the Dolphins finally get good, the AFC East is just turning into one of the most powerful divisions in football. I don't know how that happened overnight, but it did. I'm just glad the Dolphins are finally doing stuff to like it's fun being able to watch someone like Tyreek Hill. Like I've never gotten that opportunity. I just watch those guys for other teams. But actually having him on my team and just being like, man, like this is insane. Like never have I ever experienced it. So yeah, love the Miami Dolphins. Just know that if they ever win the Super Bowl, I mean, just know I'm somewhere absolutely crying. I'd probably cry if the Dolphins win the Super Bowl. It would be the best day of my life.
I love it. I'm sure so many Dolphin fans will be as well. You got time for some quick rapid fire before we end off here?
I
asked these questions to the last 2 guests. So I'm interested to hear your opinions on this. Can Tom Brady have a better game than Geno Smith on Sunday in Germany?
No, he won't. Geno will lead that team to victory. I think that the public perception is going to be that Tom Brady just did that comeback with like 30 seconds left last week and that they're back. They're not back. That team in offense is terrible. It's just dysfunctional. So Geno Smith over Tom Brady.
Did you hear Giselle's building a house across the road from where he is building one? Or she bought a house across the road from where he's building his?
I mean, what are we even doing here?
The craziness goes on.
What is going on? What is going on?
He's going to be watching with cameras for anyone coming over to Tom's house.
Yeah, that is the weirdest thing ever, man. What is going on?
Oh, weird. Okay, can Kansas City finally get a cover here at home? They have not covered the spread at home this season. 0-4 against that spread, laying 9.5 against the Jags. Can they get it done here, or do they get it done later in the season?
I'm going to say no, because coming into this season especially, I actually said that the Chiefs would not win over 11 games. I said that their ATS record would be absolutely terrible this year. They're not going to cover anything. They'll be overvalued all year. I was slightly right, kind of. I mean, they're playing. There have been a couple games that got lucky with wins, but they're not the same Chiefs team. I still don't think. And I know people are always like, "Oh, they're looking the exact same without Tyreek Hill." They're not looking the exact same. I mean, they're still a little bit of a different team. But I'm going to say no, they do not. I'm going to say the Jags cover that game.
What do you think of Micah Parsons for an anytime sack on Aaron Rodgers this weekend?
Wow, that's actually not. I think that's actually a pretty good play. I mean, Micah Parsons is an absolute problem, and now Bakhtiari's out now again, and I don't know who else the Packers are going to be missing now. They have so many injuries. I feel so bad for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, seriously, back-to-back MVP can't get any help in his own city that he's been a part of for 10 years. It's crazy to me. But
you think he's checked out? I think he's checked out.
Yeah. Do you listen to his Tuesday interviews?
No, I have not.
I listen to his interviews every single Tuesday. I absolutely love him. He does it on the Pat McAfee show. No, I'm not trying to plug another show, but shout out Pat McAfee.
No,
and he
plug
does
it all the way.
He does his Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays where Aaron Rodgers goes on the show. He does like a 30-minute interview every single Tuesday. And it's like very insightful, like listening to this guy. Cause he's a little bit different. He's not just like a regular dude. The dude is like, a genius or whatever, super smart, So it's just interesting listening to him. He's got a whole different outlook on like life and just perspective. Listen to him talk about how things are going. It's very interesting because it's not the same. This is not what he's used to. It's not anyone. I mean, I had the Packers -4 last week. Watching him throw 3 interceptions in the red zone, I've never seen that in my life. And I've watched tons of Aaron Rodgers football. But yeah, I think Micah Parsons' sack is definitely good. Do I think he's checked out? During the interviews, you can kind of tell like he's not. I don't think he is checked out because even, last week he's given mother effers, after he's throwing interceptions still. So it's like you can still see the fire is there. It's just I think that he is, though, because they asked him on the show last week, like, what should Packers fans do, And he compared it to, like, when you go to work, you just kind of mentally check out, but you just go to work because you have to be there. He kind of almost compared it to that. Like, still be a Packers fan, watch the games, but just don't be expecting, a Super Bowl this year or anything like that. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's I feel for him too.
It's bad. They just keep having guys getting injured, man. It sucks.
They're at home in Lambeau, though. This used to be a place where you never bet against Aaron Rodgers. Never. At home in Lambeau. +4.5 here against the Dallas Cowboys. I would never have believed it at the start of the season. Never. We would see a line like this in this game. So do I hope Aaron Rodgers comes back and turns his team around? Absolutely. I love him as a quarterback, but I don't know if they can get it done. As
a quarterback, he's incredible. I mean, seriously, he's so much fun to watch, and it's just, it sucks. Sucks that the Central is just so, oh my God, it's just so ridiculous what's going on here. The Bears.
What about the Eagles? They keep rolling here over Washington. I love Washington with Taylor Heineke, but I don't think that they can beat the Eagles team.
I had Washington last week. Luckily, they got that backdoor cover. I mean, Taylor Heineke, I like Taylor Heineke. I still think that Taylor Heineke should have been the starter coming into the season, especially after what he did in the playoff. I don't know if you remember that playoff game where he dove out for it, and that was insanely awesome. And it's like XFL quarterback. The story is cool. I mean,
there was no reason to bring in Wentz. No.
I'm a Dolphins fan. So I'm getting to that point in the season now where I'm now hoping every single week the Eagles lose because obviously 1972, only team to go undefeated win the Super Bowl. So I get to that point in the season where we just start rooting for that. Usually we get to the point in the season where the Dolphins season's already over and our biggest thing is just rooting for the undefeated teams to lose. Luckily enough, we don't have to do that and we get to actually care about Dolphins football. But yes, I do think the Eagles, the Eagles have been rolling. Obviously, the whole second half thing has been a problem, and it could come back to bite them at some point against somebody. But man, that defense, and they made some beautiful trade deadline moves, which is like so many teams just do not do that. They just refuse to
utilize
do
it at all.
Yeah. The Eagles look so good. I'm also a Jalen Hurts guy. I like Jalen Hurts.
I have faith in him now. Yeah. I did not have as much faith in him last year. Coming out this year, he has been phenomenal.
I would have done last year if you asked me, and tons of my people will all back me up too. Like they would ask me like Tua or Jalen. I would always say, give me Jalen Hurts over Tua every day of the week.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would still say that because Tua has clearly made some leaps, but I still think Jalen he's a very good quarterback. I still think he's a very good quarterback, but time will tell.
Time will definitely tell. Gutsy, where can everyone find you on all of your picks?
Last time, it's easy. Go to SoBet, SoBet.io, use code Gutsy. You get all my plays. You get Joe's plays. You get 20 plus other handicappers plays. And then go check out my TikTok, especially at Gutsy Picks Cash. I put up free picks up on there every single day. No days off. I put up information on there that will help you become a better, smarter, more winning sports gambler. Because all I care about is winning and helping everybody else win. So
yeah, and you're doing a beautiful job at it. I see you. You're just lighting up the books there. They must be not liking you as of late.
Oh yeah,
for
definitely. Sure. Yeah, we've been absolutely killing it. And I want to say just one last thing. Thank you, Joe, for having me on the show. I'm looking forward to doing this every week. I absolutely love the show. I love everything you do. And last thing about the games this weekend, I think the most exciting game of the weekend is going to be the Oregon game. Ooh. I think that's going to be a must-watch game.
Okay. What time does that one kick off? Is that
is that an 11 o'clock? Is that an 11 o'clock?
Oh, it's an early one.
Okay.
For some reason I was thinking it was later.
Yeah, I think that right there is going to be the most exciting must-watch game of the weekend, I think. I like the over. It's like 72.5.
Oh, yeah. You got to get that over.
I think I like that over. They got two of the best quarterbacks in the nation. Penix leads the nation in passing yards. Bo Nix has just been an absolute monster, top 5 in passer rating. Two terrible defenses, two elite offenses. It's going to be a must-watch game on Saturday.
Yeah, Washington and Oregon do kick off at 7 p.m. Eastern there. Washington, 12.5 point dog. 72.5. That total has jumped right up from 69.5. It's going into the 80s all day long.
I think so, too. I think it's going to be so many points. It's going to be so much fun to watch. I'm really looking forward to it.
It's going to be fantastic. Gutsy, I want to thank you so much for joining me here. You guys go give him a follow. Any final last words?
Final last words. Fins up. Let's go Dolphins, baby. We got the Browns this weekend. And thank you, Joe, for having me on here. I seriously love coming on here. I'll come on here anytime you want for however long. I love it.
Awesome. We'll see you back here next week, Gutsy. Thank you so much for joining us.
See you guys next week.
Bye now. You guys, that was Gutsy from Gutsy Picks Cash on all social media. Make sure you go over and give him a follow. Also, check him out on SoBet.io. Use referral code Gutsy over there. You guys, that's the show. We almost went an hour here. We had a 3 great cappers in. Just like my other shows, I'm going to bookmark this. I'm going to bookmark these cappers. I'm going to try to bring as many of them back each and every week so you can get used to these guys and who you're liking here to tail their picks for the weekend. So you guys have a good one. Thanks so much for joining me, and let's make some freaking money this weekend. Bye now.